leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday. Baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count, honey. Come on now and take my hand.
The wind is just absolutely insane today. We went to a local market this past weekend and I got a ton of veggies to can, so be expecting that in the next couple days. The time has finally come and it is painting containers week. There's a ton of stuff that goes into this, like moving some wires, prepping the containers, primering, and then finally getting to paint. Cody's been working all morning just doing some maintenance around the property. I've been working all morning doing some maintenance around the house, so let's go grab them. Who's tired of the wires? I'm tired of the wires.
So as we had mentioned earlier, whenever we did all the wiring for the house, we forgot to put in an outlet for our pump house. So we actually have this extension cord running over to power a water pump right now. So we're going to be running an outlet under the house and getting rid of this extension cord.
And that'll consist of cutting a hole in the floor and cutting a hole in the wall. Basically hide cords and wires. So we'll get to that in a few minutes, but let's talk about what's on everybody's mind. Rust control. Ultimately, when we purchased our containers, we knew that there was a potential that they were gonna have a ton of rust on them because we didn't buy brand new. The whole purpose of this project is to repurpose building materials. It would kind of contradict itself to buy brand new containers. Rust is something that we've always seen as being a future project to have to deal with. Cody's done a ton of research over the past couple days on how to prepare for this, what should we do, and there's tons of different methods out there, so we're going to do our method, which may not be everybody else's cup of tea. And it's really important to keep in mind, as we prep and paint, it does not need to be perfect because we're eventually going to side these containers. When the sawmill's up and running and we're ready to start working on cosmetic projects, because that's essentially what it is, then we will go ahead and side the house. But that's probably not gonna be for a couple of years because there's a ton of things that we wanna do first. So painting the containers is definitely just to make it aesthetically pleasing, and that's okay with me. All these little cosmetic imperfections, minus the rust, is not really something that we're worried about on our container because like we said, it's eventually all going to get covered up with siding, so we're not gonna spend a ton of time, you know, on the little things.
And not many people know this, but containers are built a lot differently than your traditional steel buildings or any other kind of metal building. They're made of a special kind of steel called cordon steel, which is actually designed to build a surface rust on top of it to protect the base metal from actually rusting. Containers are also painted with multiple zinc coatings, and the zinc actually acts as an anode, so it's basically sacrificing itself to prevent the metal from being damaged. Being that these containers were designed to live their entire life in the middle of the ocean pretty much, or in a shipping yard, they were designed to be able to withstand a lot of different weather and a lot of bad weather. So they're relatively built well.
So rust really isn't a huge deal because I guess you could say containers are meant to rust. We're gonna be doing a little bit of prep work on the rust, but not a crap ton. We're gonna apply a primer and then start painting. If it looks like crap, well, oh well, then we'll side it eventually.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's littered with dents from being abused in shipping yards and on boats and
But that's how we
all that
wanted
good
it.
stuff,
We didn't
so-
want it to look brand new. The whole point is for it to be repurposed.
Yeah, so we're not expecting it to look perfect, but we're expecting it to look a lot better.
Yes. Mostly, I just want a new color. Done with
Yeah,
McDonald's.
who likes yellow? So let's get started. So the outlet on the other side of this wall is part of the outside outlet circuit. So the reason we removed the piece of wall right here is so we could access that outlet that's closest to the water pump housing. And that way we can tie into it and be able to add the extra outlet. So now that we have the wall off, we just gotta drill a hole in the floor.
If you're curious what all of this black stuff is, it is in fact burnt from whenever he welded the windows. A lot of the spray foam right here got burnt. It's not mold, it's literally just embers that were burnt in. Spray foam is fire resistant, so it didn't burn down. He's gonna straighten the wire out and cut it to length.
Wire cutters would probably work better than water line cutters. But they were right here. So we're gonna use some spray foam to seal it all before we close it all up.
We got the wall put back in last night, but kind of change of plans. Sorry, we're still gonna focus on prepping the containers, but we're gonna
change gears for a minute.
Yes, because it got really freaking cold in the house last night and it's supposed to be 39 tonight. So let's go buy a fireplace.
Is watching shallow dreams. Night is rocking her to sleep. Wind whispers in the trees. Hidden secrets are hard to keep. Sunset in golden fields. Goddess warrior and a queen. Lost the battle and her dream. Hidden secrets are hard to keep. She's still waiting, holding on through the night. She's still waiting.
So we got the fireplace inside, but if you've been here a while, you know that we have 2 dog crates in here. We really only ever crate our dogs at night or when we're not here, so they're not really in them a whole ton. So we decided to separate them. I did not want to do this, but whatever, it's a tiny home. So we moved them from this area, got it all cleaned up. We have 1 dog crate here in the kitchen, no dog. And then we have another dog crate here in the bedroom. And this is just temporary. There's not going to be a traditional deck off the store. It's actually going to be a sunroom, and that's going to be basically a dog room. So they'll eventually all have their own room where they can hang out, sleep, be in there safe whenever we're gone. But for right now, we have these 2 dog crates while we're still in the building phases. And yeah, one's in the kitchen and one's in our bedroom, and that's just going to have to be okay.
So like we said, it is going to get down to 39 tonight, or it's supposed to. So we are going to get this installed and hopefully get it fired up and tested tonight. But for now, we still got a little bit of sunlight left outside, so let's go get rid of the rest of the cords hanging out the front of the house.
Bring the morning light. He's waiting to end this fight.
The first thing I'm going to do is drill a hole in the wall, and then we're going to add a box for the electrical wires to run through.
Now he's gonna start adding in our booster and our Starlink modem.
Wishing time could make it right. He is waiting. Dawn is bringing morning light. He is waiting to end this fight.
I can finally take this rusty towel off and close the window. Yes, my windows are dirty. Don't look at them. Everything's dirty, okay? When the house is done, I'll deep clean it. And just like that, all of the wires are gone.
Your dog crap.
Sorry.
You always gotta take everybody out.
Oh, lover.
That was really the only thing that we had to do before we start prepping the containers in terms of like rust and primer and all of that. So we will probably start doing that tomorrow. But another big project that we want to tackle in the house is in the kitchen. We want to install another kitchen cabinet. So this is our current situation in terms of kitchen cabinets and a hood range. Our kitchen is built for Home Depot cabinets because that's what we assumed we were probably going to put in here. But we were really lucky to find these metal cabinets on Facebook Marketplace and we got a hell of a deal on them. So couldn't pass it up. That meant that our dimensions were a little bit off, especially since we put this corner cabinet in. And so where we originally were going to have our hood vent is not the same. So we found a solution. It's not going to be a drop down anymore, but that's completely fine. Instead, we're going to take this cabinet, which is currently upside down, put it in that place, and then we'll eventually add an under cabinet mount hood vent and then hide the tubing in the actual cabinet so you won't even be able to tell. We don't have a hood vent picked out yet, but as soon as we do, she's now ready for install. Let's do some stuffed peppers tonight. I don't really want to do a whole ton of extra work because number one, it's late. We've been doing stuff all day. And number two, for some reason, I don't feel good. So I'm going to use my chopper tonight. I'll link it in the description if anybody's curious. I just got it off Amazon. I love it. It's a lifesaver for nights like these when I don't want to spend a ton of time chopping. I have rice on the stove. I have my meat browning, and now I'm going to get my veg ready so that way I can brown it with my meat. I already seasoned most of it, but I'm going to finish it up. I'm going to add just a can of diced tomatoes and green chilies to just like knock off Rotel. Now I'm gonna just add some cheese that I've already shredded and then rice to this, let it get all melty, and then stuff my bell peppers and put them in the oven. I crushed up some foil because this one wanted to fall over. Now let's add some cheese. Got my cheese on, so let's pop them in the oven. I'll probably do like 35 minutes on 400, and then I'll probably pop them on broil for 2 to 3 minutes. There's a little bit of this left over, so it's perfect for like burritos or tacos or something like that. And it being in the oven this long gives me plenty of time to be able to clean this kitchen.
Waiting on dinner, so he's playing with his stove.
I was FaceTiming my mom, so they're a little extra crispy because I lost track of time while FaceTiming her.
Oh, it looks perfect. That is freaking huge.
There's
Huge.
one. And then I did not want to make anything else, so we just have baked beans for the side.
I'm so down for it though.
Dinner is served. Let's go eat.
So we ended up going with the Intrepid Flex Burn.
Bye.
Vermont Castings is who makes it. And she is pretty.
And shout out to my mom and dad because they actually helped us and gave us a little bit of money towards it, because if you know anything about fireplaces, they are quite expensive.
Super expensive.
Thank you to them.
Yeah.
But she is absolutely beautiful. I ended up getting the one that I specifically wanted, so it's kind of hard to see on camera, but she's blue. I know, weird, but she is. She's blue. So
It has a pretty cool enamel coating on it that's actually supposed to make it last a lot longer. It makes it a lot easier to clean.
got one that has a cooktop because that's super important to me, and then one that has glass because that's super important to Cody. And we need to still replace a little bit of this pipe from last year. It's rusted in a couple areas, and it's just
it's cheap pipe that went with the cheap stove that we have.
Yeah, so we're gonna definitely upgrade. Cody's gonna get our first fire going, and I have cookies in the oven.
That looks delicious.
I specifically didn't add a crap ton of chocolate chips like I normally do because Cody is not a huge fan of a ton of chocolate, and we were out. So, but I will put my cookie recipe on the screen. If you remember, our fireplace from last year was just a cheap Roll King fireplace. It definitely got the job done while we were still building, but it's not efficient for living here. It had a super short burn time, and we ended up waking up still freezing basically every time that we stayed here and used it. So we're super excited about this upgrade, and it's going to be so nice for these really cold winter nights.
Because we have a shipping container house, our air is a lot more airtight than the majority of houses. We do still have to install a fresh air intake system, so that basically will take air from outside to be able to feed to the fireplace rather than burning our inside air. It makes it a little bit more efficient, and then it makes sure that we're not taking up air from inside the house.
We'll probably be installing that either tomorrow or a little bit later on this week. Can I bother you to answer some questions? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's do it. We're gonna do this quick because it's kind of cold outside. Okay, I saved this question because I love this channel. It's Cajun Country Living. Hey y'all, awesome video. We love your can-do attitude and the way you think through each other's obstacles that you face. Cody, what's the max AC amp output that y'all solar setup can reach the way that it's currently set up? Keep up the great work, and we'll send y'all some of this 97-degree weather.
That'd be nice.
I know.
So it's about 40 amps. A little over 40.
So, if y'all don't watch Cajun Country Living, they're really cool. They're building their house all the way from the ground up out in Louisiana. So yeah. Right.
Check them out.
Yeah.
Crafty Corner says, are you guys gonna put stuff out to help keep the snakes away from the front of the house? I'll be worried one of them get to the puppies. No, so we don't really have to worry about them right in front of the house because there's a pretty good amount of cut grass, I guess you could say, between like where the woods is and the house. So we really haven't seen any near the house at all. I saw one crossing the road one time at nighttime, but other than that, it's pretty much just been at the creek or the pond is the only places we see them at.
Yeah, and they would let us know.
Yeah, they definitely get a particular type of bark going on whenever they see something moving. So
Yes.
we typically know pretty quick. But no, we're not gonna put anything out because we're trying to not dump a bunch of chemicals into the ground or anything like that.
Yeah.
So we're trying to not put out like pesticides or anything like that.
Sorry, I'm staring at them. They're cute. Stephen B said, hi guys, y'all have any plans to install gutters on your containers to collect rainwater into tanks as part of your drinking water? Blue-gray color would be my choice. Love the vids. Steven from Australia. Steven from Australia, that's so freaking cool that you're from Australia.
We actually do have gutters on the house, and the gutters go into a drainage system that feeds the pond. So essentially, yes, we do have that system without the containers to hold the water. The pond is our container.
Yeah, so that's our rain catchment system. I know I get a lot of questions of, are we gonna put up a rain catchment system? That is our rain catchment system. We've talked about it kind of in passing when working through our filters and things like that. We've never really had an entire video on it, so maybe we'll do that.
Yeah, we may add tanks at some point, but as far as right now, no, we don't have any, and we pretty much do have a rain catchment system.
That's pretty much it. In the next couple days, the next time that we see y'all, we will be prepping these containers to paint by sanding off all the rust, primering them, and all of that good stuff. So, we'll see you then.
Bye.
Get one life.